Hey guys, it's Jeff, and today I'm super excited, if you can't tell already. We have a new concept here by some very special people talking about iOS 13 and what they want to see integrated into this new version of iOS. And quite frankly, this is the best iOS 13 concept to date that I have seen, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Today we'll also be talking about the release date of iOS 13 and when we should be seeing the first betas come out, and then also some other news as well. So let's just get right into it. This video was sponsored by our friends at MacPaw, the creators of Clean My Mac X. This program will clean up, protect, and speed up your Mac without any hassle whatsoever. If you want a free download of this program on us, click the link down below. Okay, so let's start out with the release date of iOS 13 because I know all of you guys are going to ask me, when is the next version of iOS coming out? When is iOS 13 coming out? And traditionally speaking, it has always been the first beta of iOS 13 or the first beta of any version of iOS has always been the first day of WWDC. So basically, we should be seeing on the first day, the first beta of iOS 13 coming to our devices. So when is going to be WWDC 2019 this year? The dates have been reported to be June 3rd through 7, according to 9to5Mac. So I'd say on June 3rd, prepare your iPhones, iPads, iDevices. We should be hopefully downloading the first beta of iOS 13 on that date. So yeah, that covers the date portion of everything. If you have any more questions about that, let me know in the comment section down below, but let's just hop right into this concept because I am super excited to take a look at this. It's by far the best concept I've seen. So let's just get right into it. The video will be linked down below just in case you guys want to watch it for yourselves later. But the first thing they're actually talking about is a new redesigned status bar on the lock screen, and I personally really like this design. So on the left-hand side, you have the weather indication, and then towards the right, we have kind of like the same setup that we have now, except for we do have that battery icon that we have all been missing within iOS 12. I really like that battery indication icon, and I personally never wanted it to leave. So hopefully that does come back as this concept is portraying. It really does look nice. Now, the next thing that they are featuring here is basically a switch between custom setups. So essentially speaking, you could take a setup of a lock screen and then create several setups just like you can on the Apple Watch app where you have different lock faces or watch faces. You can go ahead and customize those and actually switch between them just like you can on the Apple Watch. So I think that's not too much of a far stretch to ask for, simply because we have it already integrated on the Apple Watch. And I think Apple should definitely take a look at this design here, because I think that a lot of people, including myself, would like some redesign to their lock screen, some more customization, and to be able to switch between those, between different events, different days, everything like that. So that's a really cool integration of kind of like technology we've already been seeing within the Apple Watch into iOS 13. Okay, so more on the customization aspect of the lock screen, and this concept artist has in fact integrated kind of like an Apple Watch style customization process for the lock screen. So as you can see on this concept here, you can change the weather at the top left-hand corner. You can change that to maybe different, like maybe the time or something like that. You can go ahead and change the date to maybe weather in the center there, and just change it between certain apps or whatever that you may have. Now they're also proposing that you change on the bottom right here the camera. Maybe you can switch it to music, maybe you can switch it to another app. I think that would be really cool, and it would really allow app developers to kind of integrate their apps more into iOS than they are now just going to a specific app. So I think that would be a really nice integration tool for app makers as well, kind of integrating their apps. Maybe you could have Spotify on the front, maybe you could have different apps like Waze or anything like that where you can get some pretty quick navigation just with 3D touch on the lock screen. Next up, very quickly, they are proposing that we will get an always-on display. And I'm actually a fan of always-on display, but their concept looks a lot like what we are seeing currently with Samsung products. And I'm not really a fan of copying other products blatantly like that. I think that Apple should put their own spin on it, maybe something a little bit more elegant. But I do think that an always-on display would be a really good idea. So hopefully Apple integrates that, especially because we have OLED panels now where always-on displays can happen happen without using very much energy. I would really like to see that. Now, next up, this concept artist is proposing that we will start to see more dark theme UI within iOS 13. So as you can see on the front here, we're getting some more dark UI on the dock, and then also we're getting some dark UI within, as you can see, the clock app face there, and the wallet app face is a little bit more dark. So they are proposing that we get more dark theme within iOS 13, and then also some redesigned icons as well. And I do think that the current icons, they're not bad, but I do think that we should be seeing a few more icons coming to iOS 13 that should be kind of like a redesign, look a little bit more modern, just something new. I would really like to see something new. Now on the next page here, we are definitely seeing some really interesting stuff. So we are seeing a less intrusive interface for Siri, which actually, it looks really nice to me. I don't like and have never liked Siri taking up my entire page where I can barely see anything. I can't do anything. It's just all Siri all the time when Siri is activated. And I just want to see something a little bit more elegant, a little bit more clean. And I think that this concept artist has definitely nailed it here. Now, they are also proposing that we might see some more dark theme UI within Siri and also within menus like the search bar and search, kind of going throughout that menu and seeing a bit more dark theme UI there as well. So let's move on to the next proposition for this artist, and they are actually proposing that we will see basically a different call interface. So when someone calls you, it won't take up the entire screen just like it would Siri, and you will get a basically 1/4 of your screen taken up by a call rather than the full screen, which I really like. So I really like this concept here. I really like how clean it looks. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new redesign here for Siri, and as well any incoming calls that you may be seeing. I personally really like it, so let me know if you agree with me or not. Now, the next thing that they are kind of moving on to is all dark mode. It's all talking about dark mode and what we should be seeing with dark mode. And honestly, their concepts, their designs here with very specific apps and interfaces and everything like that, I am absolutely loving it. Here you can see that we have a redesigned settings app. We have a redesigned contacts app, and then also they're explaining that having a dark mode would in fact improve battery life, and they are correct. Dark mode will improve battery life. With OLED panels, unlike LED panels where the entire screen is lit no matter what, OLED panels are lit per where you need color and where you need light. And if you have black, you don't exactly need light, so that means it will save on battery life, specifically with OLED. I'm talking about a dark mode. So yeah, I really do think that dark mode would help us not only with the looks, but also the usability as far as battery life goes. So definitely take a look at these app designs. What's really interesting to me is a lot of people are like, what will iOS 13 look like with a dark mode? And you can kind of already see it in today's iOS 12. Go ahead and look at the stocks app. It looks very much like what these concept artists are proposing here, and I think that's what we will end up seeing. The stocks app on the iMac there with dark mode on macOS Mojave looks a lot like what we are seeing now in iOS 12. So I don't think Apple is going to vary too far off of what they already have in macOS on iOS. So moving on, we just see a few more designs here of dark mode, and they're doing a really great job showing how it would look on the iPad, on the iPhone with various apps and everything like that. So they've done a really good job, and I'm really liking kind of everything that they're integrating into this concept. Now, they're also proposing that we will be seeing a redesign or a kind of functional design change with the camera app, which I am really liking. The camera app is super frustrating right now just because to go and change any settings, you have to go into the settings app and then onto the camera menu and change it from there. I have been asking for such a long time to see settings being changed or being able to be changed within the settings app, just like you would any DSLR camera. I think that would really take it over the top for me as far as usability. So yeah, their concept looks really good here. It includes some new features, some redesigns and everything like that, but it also includes some functionality changes that I really like. So they're including a app switcher that basically you can close all at once. That's really useful to a lot of people. I've been asking for that for a very long time, so I definitely like to see that within iOS 13. They're also proposing that we should be seeing the ability to lock apps, and I personally think that Apple has already taken a step in the right direction with screen time, and I think that locking apps is kind of like the next step here as far as more privacy and more control over your iOS experience. So I really am giving a thumbs up for locking apps, and I think that being able to unlock your apps using Face ID is not a far stretch. We are already doing that. A lot of app developers are already requiring Face ID to unlock various apps and everything like that, various functionalities within the app. So I don't think that's too much of a far stretch. Now, they're also kind of proposing that an Apple Magic Mouse would connect to the iPad, and I would say that this would be a really good thing to happen. But I think that for that to happen, you need to see a serious design change specifically on the iPad. You need to see a serious redesign, going from the kind of iPhone theme that we have now to more of like a Mac style theme with the iMac, MacBook Pro, everything like that, and able to have an integration of the Apple mouse. So the next thing, and quite possibly the last thing I'll be talking about, is having various users on the iPad. You obviously have this ability within Mac OS, and that is absolutely awesome, but I personally would have absolutely no use for having this on an iPad. For the MacBook and iMac that I have, I don't really have a use of having multiple users, so I think this would kind of be futile for me, but I know for other users who maybe have kids, this would be an awesome integration of having multiple users, just so you can limit certain time of the iPad or maybe even the iPhone on for one person and then not for yourself because you're the administrator. So I do think this would be a great concept, but I just have to see a little bit more as far as the usability and what exactly having multiple users on one iPad would entail. Now, one thing that I did miss, the concept designers here have proposed that we are going to see a new volume HUD indicator on the left-hand side or right-hand side. Either way, I'd be so happy to get that ugly box in the middle of our screen out of the way. It would be really awesome to see a new volume HUD indicator. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I am super excited for this iOS 13 concept here. Let me know if you are as well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video covering iOS 13. If you want to stay up to date on any iOS 13 news, make sure to get subscribed and also hit the bell button to get updates on when that content is released. Anyways, again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.